I had played a villain long, long ago, and the idea of playing this particular character seemed like a lot of fun. And of course, Mel Gibson, one of the most talented filmmakers out there. As a filmmaker, I was always a huge, huge fan of Braveheart, Apocalypto, Hacksaw, Passion of the Christ. I mean, he's one of the most talented filmmakers out there. So. Well, I always want to say that Daryl Booth. I mean, you try to say that you found some sort of way to like this character when inhabiting him, but I just loved that he was just kind of this unapologetic, diabolical guy who, you didn't. It wasn't. It didn't take long. It doesn't take long to get into, the real guy. I mean, within 15 minutes of the movie, he's like, you know what? Screw this. This is what's happening, like it or not. And, I love that about the movie. I just, love the idea of doing something contained and doing something with a twist. And all of my crazy ideas, whether it was starting off with a Southern accent and then turning into this mafia hitman and then the big reveal up top, Mel was into all of it. I mean, I'm a big fan of movies that have villains that really kind of drive the movie. If you think about The Line of Fire with John Malkovich, you think about, there's many others, Robert De Niro and Cape Fear. I mean, the list goes on for great villains that could really drive a movie. Those are movies that always stood out for me. And I don't know, I always had a tendency to root for those guys, even though I knew that, I knew what the ending would be like for them. We had to create all of the effects outside, but you're in the plane. There's lots of movement. We didn't really know when the movement was going to come. The turbulence, the shaking, the pitching up, pitching left, pitching down, pitching right. So, you were kind of getting flung around all the time. You had cameras that were in there with us and, guys that were attached to bungee cords and stuff like that. And somebody was off in a corner somewhere with the remote controls having at it. I mean, well, it was right there on the page, but I think Mel's directing, the editing, obviously the intensity that they created in that environment, and those guys, both Michelle and Topher did a great job as actors selling the fear, and I got to have, I had the kind of easier role where I got to kind of play crazy and hopefully continue to keep them on the edge of their seat, on the edge of their seats, but also on their toes. The only way to see this movie is on the big screen next to other people. I mean, there's so many movie moments where you're going to grab the person next to you, even though it's a stranger. And these are the kind of movies that I love seeing in a theater because it's so interactive with the audience. Think about seeing, one of these movies like in Times Square, the Man's Chinese Theater. I mean, it's just, people yelling at the screen and very interactive.